Today we are exploring a topic that feels real. It's like I've been approaching this backwards, and the reality for me is we here at Outliers that we focus on one thing, which is helping outliers level up. And as I dive more and more into the nuances of specifically helping outliers level up, not just people or leaders or entrepreneurs, but really looking out to say like for those people who feel like they're on the outside of or just on like the edges of success relative to the people around them. Like how do you continue to grow when you've been able to do things that others haven't, or you're in a position that most of the people around you are not? How do you continue to grow? How do you continue to grow in your leadership, to grow in your outcomes, and grow as a person? And so this is where we're exploring that. And what I've realized is that as I do this more and more, for me to really get to the nuance of this year, it requires me to grow again. And that's been really fun. And also very challenging. So today I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes and let you know about some of the things that have been developing over the past 3 4 weeks in particular, and just give an update as to where I am right now. It's one of the things where I realized that in the future I'm going to be really happy that I made this because my where I'm thinking, what I'm going to be doing, the challenges I'll be facing are going to be different. But right now this is where it sits. So I want to start off by sharing what I'm realizing about growth, content, and traction in real time. So what I'm realizing right now for me is that at the end of the day, I've had experiences of everything that I wanted to bring to life. I've had live streams, I've led group sessions, I've had community, I've brought in one-on-one coaching, I've done live events, like I've done every single thing that I feel I would want to do inside of this business. But the reality that I'm facing is that I haven't been able to keep any of them going simultaneously. So it's one-on-one coaching or group programming, or we're creating 400 podcasts in a year. Like all these different things didn't have enough room to all live at the same time. That's one. With that, the other thing I'm realizing as I'm seeing this here is I spent this weekend really analyzing where I wanted to go and put my energies into. And I made a video about this here the other day around team, but basically it boiled down to me recognizing that almost everything I was doing was built with this hidden constraint in it. So we're back on right now. There was this hidden constraint that was saying, given that I'm doing this alone, and that was influencing all the decisions and how like wide of a path I would take. So since I've had that realization, I've been slowing down to really say like, if this vision was going to live fully, what would it look like? And that's been really interesting, like mapping out the thoughts inside of my head. It's actually easier for me to get into action, just to start going for it, and know that like directionally I'm moving in the right direction, that I'm aligned. However, what I'm finding is there's a part of me that gets shortchanged. And I'm sharing this here because, well, I'll just share it. But there's a part of me that gets shortchanged. And it's the part of me that like knows that this can exist. And instead of just going all in, being driven and creating it, and doing what it takes to make it come to life, I'm constantly in what I would say uh, evaluation. There it is, evaluation of the process, the approach, so on and so forth. And really it ends up being like my own like GPS system is going on. I wonder if any of you feel that. Like let me know in the chat if you feel that at all. My own GPS is constantly going like recalculating, given where we are now, recalculating, which is fun to some extent because I feel really powerful. There's no place in me that feels stuck, or that I would get stuck. But the other side of me is that like it's a bunch of mini micro micro moves, right? It almost feels like we're swerving rather than just going down straight. And so right now, what I'm realizing is one, the importance of for me now to bring all the different things that I've been doing in life and bring them into order and to organize it. I think that's really it. It's less about order and more about organization, and approaching this from a more organized standpoint. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing that most of the things that I have gotten from like traditional advice, and most of the environments that I'm in where I kind of hear the same things over and over again, good, well-meaning things, but they don't really represent me or how I think. They're starting to not only be apparent. I've felt that discomfort for a bit, but they're also starting to like fall apart in the sense that I no longer see them as the truth or the foundation in which to build. So like I want to talk a little bit about like where traditional advice and on especially quantity and quality have been failing me. And I don't usually use the word failing, but I felt right in this case to say it, more because I want to create more separation for myself. And so for any of you that are watching this here and you're asking yourself, okay, what can I do? What can I do to apply this for me? Like one of them is just to look at the language you're choosing to use and make sure and see like what level of honesty, what level of truthfulness around it are you willing to bring. So for me, the elements of like quantity and quality, they show up all the time. So I have this vibe that just like needs to bring like do things to a high extent, to a large number extent. And the reason for this here is one, I think it's fun, but I think the other part of it is like, oh, I don't know, so I'm learning as it goes along. And what's been, let me try and make this as concrete as I can. I've been focusing right now on the engine that's going to make the business work in the long run. And so you're seeing different pieces of it. And I'm asking myself, what does it look like for this to work every day without me? Doesn't mean I'm going to do it, not going to be here, but what if like, what would it need to look like in order to work without me? And like be profitable. All right. So like what are the revenues that are coming in, the expenses coming in, and along with that, what would be the member journey and the client journey? And it's been really fun. I'll share some of like what I'm working on and how this comes together, and I'll tie it back to quantity and quality in a bit. So, what has it's been me and GPT over for a number of hours playing things out, but ultimately, I found that there's multiple like engines inside of my business. I look at engines. Engines feel really good for me, and the difference for me with an engine is that like you turn the car on and the engine just keeps churning, right? And it feels different. It feels different than a flywheel for me. I'm not sure why. I think it's just more modern, but like I no, actually, I think the thing is that for me, an engine has multiple pieces that all come together. That uh, each piece does their own individual small piece that like their small contribution, and that's what keeps it running forever. Whereas I feel like the flywheel is really based on that initial push. It's super simple. It's one thing, and it really like it's all about how much efficiency is available, right? How lubricated the wheel is, so it can just continue spinning. And so I get excited by building out different models and bringing those models out to life. And what I'm finding is that there are multiple engines that the vision of my business and impact really have. So right now I'm in the process of building my world, and there's lots of fun things I want to do with it, like characters and live coaching and uh, live conversation. Like there's just a lot of really, I really want to look at community as the place that we're coming from and everything that we do. And it's been an interesting because for the last 3 years or so, I've been coming from coaching, and so it's been causing this like both a cognitive dissonance, but also like I went here first in front of my chest for listening, but it's causing this like disconnect internally to it's been it's been rubbing against my identity. And what has transpired is that I'm starting to see like, oh, okay, the live stream has its purpose, and if the live stream has its purpose, what is that going to do? And how does the live stream like what all is necessary for the live stream to be successful in and of itself? All right, and then what's the next step from there? And okay, like we have this concept in my business called up purposing, and up purposing for me is different than repurposing, where repurposing is about taking what I've done and chopping it up into small pieces and getting it distributed. Up purposing is about how do we make each individual segment that much better depending on the platform that it's going on or depending on the medium that it's going on. So you see me right now on live, I'm talking things out. You're seeing me more of like a behind the scenes, like figuring out process. But then when this gets up purposed, it's not just going to be clips of this, but it's going to be clips of this tightened up with like different ways that people can learn through it. And so what's happening here is as I'm seeing the engines start to get built, I am also realizing that I'm seeing the difference and nuance of my of the way that I envision it in my head, and then the nuance of what it looks like when it comes to life. And that has been a tricky thing to kind of like sit in, because a part of me is like, just go, run, make it come to life. And another part of me is like, you can do that, you have done it, but like you'll end up here again, which is like you'll want to go and do something else, or you'll know, not even that you want to, but you'll know that there's something that you'll see that the results were not sufficient. You took action, but you did not have the. It's almost like building like the train tracks. It's like we're just miss or a bridge. I like bridges, but you're just missing a couple planks of the bridge, and those planks were so large that sometimes you could jump over, most times you didn't. And so I'm finding myself right now really building with that in mind, and sitting down and trying to detail out all the things that are necessary, and let's go build it, which is fun for me because now I'm realizing I can now, with that level of clarity, it ends up being not only clearer for me, but also easier for me to be able to bring other people on board. So I can see how I can delineate which are one-time tasks versus ongoing tasks. What are how can it be organized to get done? This is just project management. It's not major, but it's something that I'm realizing that, okay, it's now time to get back into that kind of world and start building. Okay, so I'm going to end this stream right here because it feels like the right time to do it. I also like want to come in to this call with more. I wanted to share a little bit about what's happening in real time, but I also like to share like, hey, this is where I've been. This is like I like to show what I've done with it. I would love to be in the exhibition of it rather than in the exploration of it. Mainly because I know what needs to get done. It just needs to get done. But I'm taking some time. I'm carving time out from my day to day and taking like a several day retreat to sit down and just work through each of these different components. So that starting February of 2026, we're just sitting fully in the realization of this. And the realization for me is what's fun is that um, on any given day, I can have my entire ecosystem, the entire engine gets a chance to run, right? Versus like one flywheel is going and then it has to go kind of connect to another one. It's like, nope, the entire I'm going to be taking the week to bring that out to life. So excited for that. I'll be excited to see how that changes these conversations. I'll be having more guests on and live coaching. Like it's not just going to be me as it goes on, but that feels good. Okay, so I'm going to go because I want to be able to come back in here later on and share some of the things that have transpired as opposed to what I'm thinking about doing or what I'm planning on doing. All right, let me know your thoughts. Put any things into the chat. Something on the quantity and quality. I think we'll also see here. One of the things that I've realized is like I don't know what people want, and I think that place of I don't know is a great place to come from now, because it's like, all right, let's go find out. And there's a lot less pressure. Like that game of like, let's go find out. It's a lot less pressure than the game of like, oh, I need to know everything right off the bat. And so right now I'm like, oh, I don't know, and I know that I'm going to be doing live stream, but I don't know like what people need to feel connected. I don't know what people need to I don't know how to get people onto the live streams. I don't know what people want to see after the live streams. I don't know what kinds of content we're looking at or kinds of thought leadership people will be aligned with. I don't know a lot of things. I know a lot. I do know a lot of things too. Like I know how to do this. I know how to distribute it, how to create in real time and beyond. But there's a lot that I don't know. And for a long time, I've been looking at that as a negative element, a part of me that has been unsuccessful because I don't know. And actually now that's shifting with where I'm looking at things, which is uh, because if I knew, then I can go and create really good quality, right? If I knew, then I can say, okay, let me go and spend my time applying what I know toward like the best possible outcome and spend all of my energy making that one thing like the best outcome. I know a lot of people who are like, instead of making like a daily live stream, what if you just spend all your time trying to come up with one really, really amazing post each week? And I think that the reality is for me is that I just don't know enough to be able to say I can create that amazing post. I can do stuff, I can spend stuff, I can spin my wheels, I can try a lot of different things before posting, but none of that is going to give me any real kind of information until something's out in the world. And so that is where my traditional, like the traditional advice for me, I can see it failing me. All right. Whereas what works for me is really to build with a lot of quantity. Now, I have to I have to modify that. I've done quantity in this business for a long time, and it hasn't given me what I wanted. I want to make sure I'm being upfront about that. I like financially, it's not there. There's still a lot of things where I'm trying to get things moving and bring it all together. So it's like it's been good, but it hasn't been great. I think, and then the big reason that I believe it hasn't been great is that while I'm doing quantity, I don't have any tracking in place to learn from the quantity in which I'm doing. And that's where it is. Like to learn what quality is requires quantity. A lot of times, other people who are not outliers like tend to be able to go to other people who, nah, I mean, outliers have this available too, but they go to someone else who has the experience, and they are able that experience comes with a quantity of time. Right, whether it's that person's time or what they learned because someone else taught them, because someone else put in the time, whatever it is, there's a huge quantity of time that's been in there that to me is experience, and also quantity of feedback loops and learning nodes. And so I'm recognizing for myself that this idea of trying to get it all right the first time, or being able to plan it fully, or to come up with very high quality is completely backwards for me, because I don't know what it takes yet. I don't know what it takes. I've seen it. I've seen that it takes more than what I'm bringing, and for me, the game becomes how quickly can I learn? How quickly can I learn? And that to me is coupled with quantity. That's coupled with me saying, like, let me bring way more out. Now, what I'm not telling you here is, it makes me. I love the live version because I can feel the discomfort in my chest. What I'm not telling you is I am actively looking to see, like, what would it take to get 1,000 pieces of content out each and every week. Uh, so yeah, that's what feels like really awesome to me right now. The reason for that here is that I want to see, like, what does it actually take to. I have a feeling. I have a not a feeling. I have a knowing that what I create in the world, like what I think is necessary. I'm at a fraction, a small fraction of what it actually requires to, yeah, but what it actually requires in the world. And so I want to play that out. I want to play that fully and say, okay, well, if this is if I believe what is required is X, what if it needed 50X, you know? And like what if I do way more than what is required, and then I gotta, which will then give me, I haven't thought about this in this way, but if I do way more than what is required, that will actually give me an accurate assessment of what is required, right? As opposed to doing too little and then being like, did that work yet? Oh no, it didn't. All right, let me try maybe a little bit more, maybe like 25% more. Would that do it? Okay, maybe 10% more. Maybe I'm this close. And I'm like, I honestly think I'm like, I just want to go blow it out the water, do way more than is necessary, and then come back and be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, here goes what's necessary, and play from there. And so you're going to find me being in that space now, looking more to find opportunities to not just do quantity or quality, but to do quantity to quantify. Oh, this is good. To quantity and quantify. There's a rhetoric there that I haven't gotten yet. But I want to quantify my quality. Nope, got it wrong. I want to quantify my quantity. I guess it also works with quality, but I want to. It's there's something there, right? Quantity, quality, and quantify. I'll figure it out. So the thanks y'all for playing this with me. In the future, this is gonna sound real good. I'll be like, splice that. We're gonna say that properly in the future. But the reality is, this time around, I need to track. I need to spend time creating trackers, understanding where things are coming from. I am learning that I have two different tracks in where these are tracks. I have two different paths that I use to create to bring people into my world. There's the invitation track that I use, especially like with cold invitations that come for to have people come on the platform or on my podcast. And then there's also the community track, which is more member based, and that is actually led through my real time like my thought leadership. Right. So I have like invitations and creating the thought leadership. So like guests, and then I have my actual thought leadership itself. And I've been working, part of what I've been trying to work on right now, and what I've been realizing about the growth and the content and attraction is that uh, they are actually like it's going to sound silly, but they're like two completely different streams, and they have two different purposes. So when I invite guests onto the show and we're like creating a relationship from there, I'm actually inviting people on who I want to be playing with in my like my higher level, higher tiered opportunities. And then we have separately, we have the repurposed, like we have the distribution of this like conversation across multiple platforms, from socials to emails to I'm even looking into ways we call it up-purposing, not just repurposing. I'm looking into ways to like take the things that we discuss in these live streams and turn them into automations and workflows that people who come in the Outliers as community or work with me as clients can just like implement. So rather than just saying like, here goes the idea, it's like, here goes, like, not only is here's the idea, but we have it all worked out for you, so you can just like plug and put it into your business or put it toward your organization right away. So I'm playing with these ideas and saying like, all right, this is how I'm bringing it all together. And as I go about it, I recognize that the path to this is by doing a whole lot and then tracking it along the way. And then going through that process of tracking it to see like what resonated, what's the best, what stuck out, what continues to honestly, where were the outliers? And then go and find the outliers. And as I say this out loud, it almost makes so much sense. I'm like, what were you doing for the last few years if you weren't doing this? But it's like to do a lot of volume, to quantify that volume, and then from that find where the outliers are, and then go do the outliers on purpose. And I think that's something I need to just recognize. I'm like, oh, that's so much. It's so easy. It's so simple. It just really aligns. So know that this is kind of what's happening here. I'm working through this behind the scenes, and I'm excited to share more with you as it comes along. I'm gonna go back and knock out some of this, but sharing the comments, any of your thoughts, your questions, anything that strikes you, and we'll grow on from here. And I think as I say this, I'm ready to take this. I'm ready to up level this as well. And even as I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, I hit record, but I didn't go through a process of letting people know that we were coming on live. I didn't go through the process of like I just wanted to make sure that I was here and starting at the time that like I'm trying to do the same start time every day. And what happens is I sat behind my computer and at the start time, and I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about today? And it took like 15, 20 minutes to organize that. And so I'm learning still about what needs to get done. And it's not even that it's learning as much as I'm calibrating in. And again, it's kind of like I'm playing this out in real time, but it kind of feels like the element of trying to do too little and then be like, could I get away with this? Is this enough? Is this enough? Because I don't want to like it would be silly, it would be pointless, it would be inefficient, it would be like to do too much. What if all of was needed was 5 and I put in 27? That would be way too much, right? But I'm starting to realize that like it's almost never the case. I don't think I've ever done too much and gotten too little results. But I have done too little and gotten no results from it. And so I'm realizing that right now, like even with the live stream, I'm like all of this for me, it's not like some incremental little level up at a time and we do one, like, all right, I'm doing the 1%. And then everyone's like, from doing the 1%, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what needs to happen now. And my next 1% is not the same. The next jump is a 5% difference. The next jump is I think it's a 5% difference. Like, I try not to take it to be too extreme because it takes a whole lot of time to do that, and B, it puts my nervous system in a place where I no longer feel comfortable actually bringing it to life. But and I'll be curious for you. You can put in the chat for you like what if there was like a percent difference, like it was like in what you were doing, like how much percent do you need, like can you grow with before you kind of like you back out, right? And for me, I find that I try and take on really, really huge things, and then my nervous system shuts down, or I get like into some level of like perfectionism. So the like 1% usually is the right thing, but I'm feeling for right now. I'm like, oh, it's time. It's time to make the whole level up. Where it's like it's not just about incremental improvements. It was incremental improvements up into a point where I could see what that next level looked like, and then I'm going for it. And my goal is to level this up like 2 or 3 levels. So it's not just like I feel like a consistency would be a new level for me. So to start this show every time at the same exact time, new level, or start it with the preparation already done, to have like another level of producers working with me on the show, so that I'm out here talking to you and they're moving through different screens and creating different things, so that there's variation, and I'm not the only one that's in the space. So like that's another level there. Being able to, I'm looking at this and saying, how are we going to connect this to gaining impressions? So like a goal of mine is to be able to do a live stream 5 days a week and turn that live stream into about 40 pieces of up purposed like assets. Like I don't want to say content. I don't think content's it, but up purpose assets that where the value per second is greater than every the seconds that you're watching it, right? Like there's a reason I like live, because I can get it out quickly, but I think that there's people also get a chance to see like, oh, this is how he's going about it. So there's, for those of us that are walking our own path, they get to see like the behind the scenes element just kind of naturally, because live allows for that. But then there's also, and I think this is really cool, the juxtaposition of what y'all see live and then how it comes out into the world later on. And like this is my one source of truth. Like I'm going to come and talk to someone live, whether it's on this show or whether it's with my members or whatever it is. Like I'm having live conversation, and then we're transforming that into other means for people to learn from. So I get really excited by the idea of having each live I do be several hours long, be able to interact with people in real time, to be able to invite other people in, and then be able to create 40 to 50 piece up-purposed assets from it, that then get distributed on 5 to 10 different channels every single day, which allows us to have somewhere between 250 and 500 pieces of, did I do that math right? 250 and yeah, 250 and 500 pieces of content daily, and then we just like do that every day. We do that 5 days a week, and that to me is, I'm like, oh yeah, we can get 1,000 pieces of content out there, 1,000 assets supporting people. And then the key becomes, and I heard this from Alex Hormozy the other day, but it was something along the lines of like, people have an insatiable appetite for something that is actually benefiting them. And so it's not that the social gets fatigued, or the individuals get fatigued. It's probably your editor, like it's like if you can keep coming up with different ways to make your things interesting and exciting, and however it is, like people are in for it. I had that this weekend. I went deep on something this weekend, and I could not. I wanted to listen and learn more while I was washing the dishes. I want to listen and learn more while I was sitting down on the couch while I was eating dinner. Like I couldn't get enough of like the fresh takes on this, because I wanted to change something inside of me, and I was feeling something inside of me. And I recognized, I'm like, oh, there's an opportunity to do that as well with what we do here at Outliers Edge and beyond. So, I really want to thank you there. We have Mohammed here. Let's put this out here. He says, the way you challenge traditional advice around quantity and quality really resonates with me, especially for outliers who don't quite fit the usual mold. Grateful for how you're helping people like us level up, even when it means stepping out of what feels safe. Keep it going. This work matters. Now, thank you so much here. Like this is it, right? We're gonna be playing. We're gonna be growing. We're gonna be learning with one another, and I'm gonna keep trying to do this in my own way. And I look forward to seeing I look forward to documenting the level shifts that I have along the way. That also just came out. Like I'm like, oh, this gets to be a documentation. We got to show the levels along the way, not just progress, but what does it look like to level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. And I will speak to the element of like what feels dangerous about it. I will speak to what feels like the normal mode and grow from there. And I invite you to keep joining us. Invite you to keep joining. You can join us here on these live calls. We do it every single day. Every single weekday. Or you can come inside of the school community. There's a QR code in your upper right hand corner, or go to school.com/outlier. And this is where we go and practice it. Right. So for me, this is easy for me to come on live and do these things publicly. But a lot of people don't want that, like that kind of public attention the first time around. But we still need a place to go and get better. We need a place to bring in our quantity and so on and so forth. So if you want to, I'll say a safe but brave place to practice being all of who you are, express unapologetically and beyond out in the world, and come join us inside of the school group. It's outlierseds.com. No, sorry, it's school.com/outliers. We'll keep it outlier. We'll keep it simple. School.com/outlier. All right, y'all. We're gonna end this conversation here. Just know that I really appreciate you. We got this here, and we'll come again sometime tomorrow. All right, right around this time tomorrow. All right. Until the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.